Hi, my name is Sangeet Satpathy, an Eagle Scout as of July 27, 2023. So while volunteering at a STEM camp in the area, I noticed a lack of hands-on activities. I could visibly see the young students fidgeting and not paying attention. And the worst part was, the camp was expensive, meaning that it was not only inaccessible for underprivileged kids, but it was just a waste of money. This led me to my idea, a series of free hands-on and fun workshops for students to learn about STEM in a memorable manner. So I started emailing various organizations about my idea, asking them if they would be willing to teach in these events. After I finalized these partner organizations, my beneficiary and I mutually agreed to do outreach far beyond in order to encompass people from all kinds of communities, especially from underprivileged ones. I fundraised money by tutoring math to incoming freshmen at my high school, which was used for booking the libraries and paying for any non-reusable materials. Next, I needed to coordinate with the partner organizations and the libraries on their availability. After that, I advertised for recruiting volunteers with varied skill sets so I could sort them into different groups based on their expertise. And thus, I began working towards my first workshop, which was scheduled on Saturday, August 27, 2022. The topic was about bees and their effect on the environment, and I partnered with Planet Bee for this. I continuously communicated with them to plan out the activities based on library restrictions and the age group of the signups. So I grouped my volunteers into an outreach team, a flyer making team, and a workshop day team. I had the flyer making team work on a flyer for the first workshop, and after the flyer was ready, my outreach team could start posting them in various schools. However, I soon realized that these flyers were not getting enough signups for the workshop, and that required me to change my strategy for outreach. So we then went to back-to-school nights at several schools and distributed the flyers. We had to make a Spanish version of the flyer for a few of the schools as a lot of the parents didn't speak English. I also found out that several schools had a weekly e-newsletter going out to parents, so I jumped at the opportunity to advertise my events and used PeachJar, a platform which approves flyers and distributes them through several school districts. After these outreach efforts, the signups came flooding in. By now, I had learned about several aspects of organizing a workshop. I trained and delegated tasks to the workshop day crew, who also helped with setup before and cleanup later. During the workshop, I had some of my volunteers man the registration desk, some helped with the activities, and the remaining helped in taking pictures. The workshops had several fun activities such as bee gallery walks, honey tasting, and a small plexiglass hive for the students to observe. So armed with this first experience, I was able to efficiently plan out my next several workshops. My second workshop, I partnered with the Lawrence Hall of Science at UC Berkeley to teach students about linkages. In this workshop, students built moving toys using mechanical linkages. My third workshop, again with the Lawrence Hall of Science, was on hydraulics, in which students built their own hydraulic devices which lifted and moved objects. Now for my fourth and fifth workshops, I transitioned to more complex topics, so I raised the age requirement. My fourth workshop was on nuclear science, in which I partnered with two local experts, Dr. Charles Newhouser and Dr. Scott Wakefield. Participants made their own cloud chambers, spectroscopes, and electroscopes. Finally, for the fifth workshop, Dr. Newhouser and Dr. Wakefield focused on electricity. Participants built their own circuits, learning about the differences between parallel and series circuits. So in order to memorialize the workshops, I led a group of volunteers in making a website with the educational resources. This allowed other educators to use and build upon the resources to hold similar hands-on workshops in the area. My website will inspire others to conduct similar hands-on workshops and benefit the community at large. So the amount of skill, effort, and leadership needed in this project is shown in several parts. I had to provide a lot of leadership, particularly because it involved the difficulties of repeating the workshop over multiple weeks for new themes and working with different groups of volunteers, each with different expertise and at different locations. So my leadership is shown in the planning and management between the several moving parts of my Eagle project. I needed to find the locations of the workshop, identify instructors, advertise the workshops, fundraise for the materials, register participants, develop a website, and most importantly, solicit and train assistants. I did have to make changes in between, such as changing the strategy of my outreach, including making a Spanish flyer and making use of the PeachJar platform. So what was the impact and scope of my project? All the 181 participants from 7 different cities were very happy with the workshops and asked me to notify them of my subsequent workshops. The learning from these workshops will help break down the stigma against STEM. This barrier is what causes many children to have a distaste of STEM from a young age, and breaking the barriers allows them to potentially pursue it in the future. On top of that, my workshop was accessible. Any person with any means of the transportation was able to join the workshop with no cost whatsoever. The originality of my project speaks for itself. I haven't seen any other Eagle project of a similar nature, and my Eagle project had a grand total of 862 hours with 33 volunteers. So please check out my project's website, stem-start.org. Thank you.